March, my personal favorite month of the world because I was born. So God's gift to y'all was the month of March. But no, seriously, it is March. It is Women's History Month. So all the ladies in the place with style and grace, happy Women's History Month. We cannot be the world we are today without the women running this shit. So today I have two of my favorite ladies. We have Tamay Shannon. You guys have seen her that have been part of our show since we started in November 2020. So it's been a minute. We've been doing this. So Tamay has been an integral part in essentially founding the BMC with me. And she has amazing friends that I wanted to meet. And so y'all get to meet. So her friend is Kathryn Smith, and she is a badass. And they have created what is called the Black Ladies Business School. So I wanted to bring this year, I'll say it like this. Last year, we talked a lot about the money, the negotiations, and we're probably going to bring those back this year at some point because they are unfortunately still problems with Black women getting compensated fairly. But this year, you know, BMC, we're always thinking about what's next, keeping our pulse on the culture. And there is a movement of Black women founders that we cannot ignore. And when I found out that our favorite Tamay Shannon was cooking up this like thing, right? It was like, what is she doing over there? And I'm like, man, they have their own school of business, and it's by people that get it from a business perspective, but also an academia perspective. So y'all, I'm going to introduce Kathryn Smith to y'all. If you see in the background, Georgia Tech, so shout out to Atlanta. Kathryn, I'm just now meeting, and I'm just like, where have you been my whole life? She's a graduate right down the street from me, Decatur, where is greater, over at Agnes Scott. And then she got her MBA from Georgia Tech. Her background includes leading some dope shit over at Cricket Wireless, Cox Automotive, Home Depot, but also founding her own things where she is a founder and principal consultant over at Walton Birch. So welcome to the freaking show. Welcome to the madness.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Hell yeah, we love that you are here. And then we have Tamay. I'm going to say this because some people may not know Tamay. So Tamay owns an amazing social media agency called W2S Marketing, where they take the overwhelm out of social media. So people like me that's like panicking and sweating like 5 minutes before this call, she does that on the social media side. Tamay is very involved with within the community. I can probably spend an hour talking about all the ways she gives back to other business owners. She comes as well with some of that academic background that we talked about, where she's a teaching assistant at Ashford University and so much more, and a graduate of Wellesley College. So all about the women all throughout y'all's backgrounds, the schools y'all attended, and the things you do for the Atlanta and greater business industry. So welcome, y'all.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes. So y'all, in true BMC fashion, please hit them up on LinkedIn. That is Kathryn's information. And then this is Tamay's. So at any point, hit those ladies up. They are not going to bite, but they will definitely let you know how to bite the hell out of your business and make some money. So you can't go wrong with that.
That's my new tagline. I'm keeping
Right,
that
right.
one.
Bite the
I'm
hell out
keeping
of
that.
business.
I'm
This
keeping that.
is how we do business over here. We over here trying to make sure we make this shit pop and make sure people remember it. So y'all, we're going to get into it. But before we do, one last shameless plug, because we are all marketers. This event is sponsored by the Level 8 Agency. Their website is thelevel8agency.com. They are the power behind our new platform. So if you like it just as much as I do, give them a buzz for all of your web design and branding, and well, not all of it, because they have what they do, right? So let me not say all, but for some dope shit, when you talk about websites, when you talk about certain levels of branding, data, tech, automation, these are the people that do it. Black woman founded and ran. And I'm just so proud and thankful for Bianca Goolsby for all she does for the BMC. So thank you for sponsoring this. All right. So y'all ready?
Always.
We feel
Always.
good?
Yep.
Yes.
Feeling good.
So let's get into these questions. I'm going to make sure you all's information is there because y'all have a dope Instagram. All right. So let's go with the icebreakers. We're talking about Women's History Month, and there are some Black women because it is the BMC. We all about things Black. So there are some Black women that are just doing some dope things. So I'm going to rapid fire this. I want y'all to choose who is versus BMC style. Choose who is winning and in 30 seconds or less, why. First, Beyonce versus Rihanna.
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 Not even, but
Rihanna. The glow, girl.
The businesses, like she was like, I'm about to like when she said inclusive, she meant inclusive.
Yeah. Now, can we get into her belly though? I
mean, she looks amazing. I don't even know how. You know, she could probably barely even walk at this point, but she looks amazing, making it look effortless. That's why I just said like glowing.
She looks great. I just love seeing her. Both of them did great things during their pregnancy. I think they both created their biggest masterpieces around their maternity years. Yes. So I just freaking love it. So keep it moving. All right. Especially for our geriatric millennials, as some people from the BMC calls it. Who is winning? This is one of my favorite ones. Sherri Shepherd or Whoopi Goldberg. And y'all know the stories for those of y'all that are old enough to follow Sherri Shepherd. Who is winning right now?
I'm going to say Whoopi. I'm going to go with Whoopi. I mean, both of them definitely, but if I had to pick one, Whoopi is the one for me.
Why?
So Whoopi, you know, I guess Whoopi and Leslie Brown, like we interviewed Simone from the She Looks Like Me podcast, and her podcast is named She Looks Like Me because of something that, you know, a quote that she's heard, and it was inspired by seeing somebody like Whoopi Goldberg on television, like not traditionally beautiful by standards, had the natural hair, had like every gate keeping the gates, all the gates were kept, you know, so to have gotten by that and have done so much in her career and still just be doing it. I got to give shouts out to her for that.
I love that. Tamay,
I was trying to. I was edged out, but I agree. Yeah, I would go with Whoopi just because just iconic. So yeah.
I feel like she's finally getting the respect on her name.
Yes. That part.
Yeah. She was herself before anybody else showing up, you know, like she did it authentic before anybody else did it, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Sherri, I'm proud of her because she has a similar story, in my opinion, similar to what's her face, like Anisi Nash or Octavia Spencer, where they kind of were like extras in every.
I don't know. Niecy Nash's story is changing too right now, though.
I love her. Ooh, let me not even get there because I love her story. I'm like, go ahead, girl, you better. And I just love their cover, and it's just finally like about damn time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right. So we got Rihanna, Whoopi. All right, let's bring it to small business, small but growing. Melissa Butler of the Lip Bar, or Bea Dixon, my favorite products, the Honey Pot.
Honey Pot, we're both in Atlanta. We're not picking nobody else. Sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
From Detroit, so I get it.
Sorry.
But ACL.
Sorry.
Like sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, no. Automatically. Great line of products, yes, but FILA, forever. I love Atlanta. Like no question. No question.
I get it. I love it. What now, Tamay? You are a lipstick wearer.
I know. I know.
Think carefully.
We might not have a partnership after this.
No. I fully support you, sis. Like we support all the women in business. So yes, yes.
I love the Lip Bar because in the beginning where they were, and now just to see them be the big brands that like just the cosigns that they get, I'm like, ooh. And now like it's just nice. It's just nice to see a cosmetic brand, and it's like, oh, and by the way, they happen to be Black owned. Like that's not the thing about it anymore. It's like, oh, they just made great. Oh, and then by the way, so it's like,
yes,
yeah.
I agree. I can't choose between them both. I have biases in both. So I can't choose, but I do see we have some comments that also said I equally love Melissa and B. And that's Krista Merrick's, who is actually one of her passions is beauty and cosmetics marketing. So I respected Krista. And I love Melissa's the 10-year. Did y'all see that on Instagram? It was like they did this red party gala thing that was honoring 10, I think it was 10 women in beauty and cosmetics. And they did like, I just love how she raises up for all different types of women, no matter what you look like, what you come from. Like, as long as you identify as a woman, whatever type of woman you are, you're here. But Bia Dixon, oh my God, I want to meet her so bad. Her products have changed my life. And I think it's changed the industry.
We might be able to make that happen.
No, listen, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. All right, we gonna make that happen. I just think she's just dope. Yeah. And then for the marketers, Bozama versus Tiffany Warren. For those that are not familiar, Bozama is the CMO of Netflix, and she's been CMO of some of your favorite companies. And then you have Tiffany Warren, who's over, I think she's at Omnicom, running things there, but she founded Ad Color, which is one of my favorite groups ever. So who y'all got?
I'm a little biased here just because I follow Bozoma on TikTok. So, and I know a little bit about her story, and I despise Netflix as a brand. Like, Netflix as a platform is great, but as a brand, they're extremely problematic. So, like, just for her work there and some of the things that she's putting out on TikTok, like, Bozoma is my choice.
Oh, all right. We shaking the table, Tamay, or you sitting at it?
I'm going for Tiffany because like you, Ad Color. I just that whole thing, like it's nice to see, like just what that created in the space that created was like, okay, thank you. Like, yes. So yeah.
It's hard, and I think what I wanted to get out of this icebreaker was thinking about how it's just three of us right here talking, and we see things so different. And I wanted to say my biggest thing with why I fell in love with Black Lady Business School was seeing you guys collaborate instead of compete. And obviously you're going to have competitors, right, that look like us, of course. Lip Bar versus another Black owned brand, right, of course. But when we talk about how we conduct business, how we matriculate through business, we have to be able to recognize certain names. You got to know your industry. We looked at 4 different industries, right, and these women. So for the marketers on the call, there's some badass Black women that you guys got to know.
That part.
So many. I see in the chat, we got somebody say it's a tough one, and that's a fellow cosmetics lover. So I don't know. I want to hear those thoughts. And I have somebody that says Bozama. Hey, Jihan. I see another person says Bozama. Everything she touches and her impact. And I mean, I want to meet all of these ladies. So if anybody makes this happen, like, listen, let's do it. But it's all about that collaboration. So let's get into y'all's story. Can we hear more about Black Lady Business School? How, and I want, when I say hear more, I know some people get annoyed by that. It's like, what do you want to know? I'm one of those people that get annoyed. So what I want to know is, obviously it was founded in this pandemic, us coming out of, or in this great resignation, people starting businesses, etc. Was that the catalyst to the business, or was there something else that sparked you all's creativity to create this school?
You go.
Okay, cool. I had a feeling that was going to happen. So a lot of things went into creating Black Lady Business School. And I'll tell you a little bit about the school. So I know it has school in the title, but it isn't exactly a school. It was based around the experience, or what, like, I took away from business school. So I went to business school at Georgia Tech, and I went there so that I could do better in corporate America. But what I took away from there was a lot more connections. And those connections have really helped me in entrepreneurship. And so I learned some really important things, not necessarily even things that I do myself as an entrepreneur, but things that were essential to me, not just in corporate America, but as an entrepreneur as well. And so the school part of Black Lady Business School was replicating the business school experience. So the education and the business topics, but also the networking with other people that are in business, and then also access to resources. So mentors, mentorship, professors and experts and classes and, networking events and things like that. So to go back to kind of how it got started, how we started it together, we met each other during, I think, early on during the pandemic, right after everything had kind of locked down and before, any of the vaccines had been introduced. And so we got together as two marketing experts and said, hey, let's do like a marketing workshop or something online. I think that'd be really cool. And we are very different personalities. And so it worked so well. The marketing workshop, I think, just really worked so well. Our skill sets are very complementary. The things that we kind of talk about and are passionate about are very complementary. So we both had a blast doing a couple of marketing workshops, and then just realized that some of the challenges that our clients were experiencing went far beyond marketing. And so just wanting to do something about that, we started kind of teasing the idea of Black Lady Business School, and have developed it ever since then. I think we officially incorporated in April of last year. So there's been a lot of interest expressed, and we're still doing our marketing thing, but Black Lady Business School is something that's so much bigger, that's designed to provide the business school experience, without the time commitment and the cost and things like that. So Tamay, did I cover that?
Yeah, no, literally, and I'll just give you some color commentary. So because we met on this app, and I was like, I like her, and so
technology,
right? And when she said, "Let's do a thing together," I was like, "Oh, that sounds cool," and it would just, like she said, it worked. It just works so well. Our personalities are different. I'm a little bit louder, and she's a little bit more, let's think about that today. I'm like, let's do the things now. She's like, let's think about that. So we work really well together because I'm full steam ahead and she wants to be methodical, and it just works. And then also when one of the first things we did, we were, giving it a go, was we applied to this to pitch, and this accelerator, get some money and all of that good stuff. And we got to the finals, and we were like, oh, so this is a good idea. Okay, all right, great. So yeah,
I love that. So now, question for y'all. So when it was
Great question. I'll take that one. No.
Technology. So I forgot, if I remove myself, y'all can't hear me. So
okay,
all right. So back to what I was going to ask is, so I've recently been exploring, partnerships. And when it talks about founding, a lot of times I have found that businesses that do a true like 50-50 split, they kind of have issues, or just someone comes up with it, the person that didn't, it kind of may be tense. Have y'all, and as transparent as you guys want to be, we don't want y'all giving away all your secret sauce, but when y'all thought about forming this together, what were some of the questions that y'all had for each other about, like, kind of, who was it that y'all both created it? Was it the vision was given to somebody, you found a partner? I want to know more about the hard questions that y'all had to ask yourself to make sure y'all were in alignment.
2 words: business plan.
Yeah.
Business plan. Everything, every question, every uncomfortable question you ever need to ask a co-founder will be asked during the creation of a business plan.
Right. It's because it's like remodeling your kitchen, because it's not a fun project. And so it's like, she'd be like, hey, can you review this paragraph? And I'd be like, I already reviewed this fucking paragraph 20 fucking times. Okay, I'll review the paragraph. But it's in that, not only getting those questions answered, but in how to actually work together to create something and get the foundation of something solid. So that was super, super helpful in really looking at all the things.
Yeah,
I love that.
So within the business plan, part of it is the financials, and you literally have to determine how much money that you want the organization to make in the first year, in the first 2 years, in the first 5 years, because we had to plan this basically as a part of a pitch competition. And then, part of that is
competition. Which one? Which pitch contest?
Oh, the We Atlanta is the one that we did we got to the finals in.
Nice.
Yeah. And so, in talking about that to say, well, hey, I would love to be able to hire 3 people, I'd be love to be able to do this, and to talk about the financials and say, okay, we're going to split things 50-50. That means that, our owner investment is this, our takeaways for the first year is this, and then like taxes and everything. Like, you pretty
Ooh,
much,
let's talk about
we're like
Texas. Oh,
slightly
Jesus.
above roommates and slightly
Okay.
below spouses at this point.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. Can we get that on like we need that on like an affirmation card? Your business be like.
yeah, like we are almost married. Like, like I am married. I live like we live on opposite sides of town, but like, like Tamay's a part of the nuclear family at this point, just
Yeah.
because you really have to be like all up in each other's business together, especially like when you're creating business accounts, when we're doing signing contracts, when we're, even just attending events like this. It's just, like I said, we're a step above roommates, step below spouses. It's kind of, I don't know
Yeah.
what this is.
But
Right.
I love that, because even when obviously my relationship is longer with Tamay, it's going to get there with me and you, Kathryn. But when I reached out to Tamay, it was like, hey, I'll check with my partner. Hey, this is what we are doing. I felt that the way Tamay handled the business of booking, even agreeing to this engagement, showed me a lot about y'all's partnership was equitable, and one that we are doing this, not just, oh, I'm here, and by the way, this is my partner. And that was something I love to see with Black women, because some of the horror stories people have, I don't necessarily share. I've had a couple, but not necessarily where I'm scorned, right? And so I want people to see that Black women do work well together, and to hell with anybody that says we don't. And you guys
Yeah.
are an example of that.
I mean, and also unstoppable when we work together. Like that's
Yes.
the strength of it. Like Black women are something else. Like when very rarely, like when I was in business school, we would have to do group projects in every class. And when going to Georgia Tech, there weren't a lot of people that looked like me. And so sometimes in group projects, you're just like, there's one dude in this group that's not going to show up till presentation day. We know he's not going to show up till presentation day, but when everybody's trying to get the best grade possible in the class, it's really women tend to be a lot more collaborative. But when you have another Black woman on the group, you're like, okay, sis, we got to do this. Like, I can't get a C in this class. We have to do this. So working together in that case is more powerful than even just working separately. So, just being in competition or anything like that. So
come on, collectivism, and that's why we're motherfucking here. The BMC, and I don't mean to pick on Tamay, but I just remember it was me, Tamay, a wonderful Black marketer, Kaylin. She's just phenomenal, as well as Kayla. Y'all BMC OGs, y'all helped me build this baby. And we sat and we were thinking about, what do we want this brand to talk about? And Tamay, you probably remember this. This was a couple summers ago. And we were like, it has to be rooted in collectivism. It's the one thing that can really move any ethnic group forward, and we have to practice it. And Black Lady Business School, you guys are practicing what you preach. So we talked about, so far we've talked about why you guys were founded, kind of those hard questions we need to ask each other, right? We gotta, and Chastity, our other one of our beautiful, I guess it's like equity partners at this point with BMC. I don't even know, like, I feel like co-founder doesn't even give you guys justice sometimes. But Chastity has a mantra. Chastity Jones, she's on here. She has a mantra: stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And that's what I was hearing when you all were talking about what y'all needed, certain documents, the plans, the financials. Did you even research this shit? Like, and not saying to not have an idea, but so many people have ideas. Everybody has an idea. I'm sure there was 500 people somewhere that said, hey, we want a chicken sandwich and we want to make a restaurant out of it. But I can only name 5 restaurants that sell chicken sandwiches well, right? Because there's something about the plan, but it's something about the execution. So that brings me to my next question. What are your mantras or the checklist that you have when you're vetting people, especially Black women? And I say especially Black women because, to Kathryn's point, we do naturally trust each other for those that are open-hearted and want to intentionally work with Black women. However, natural given trust sometimes can blind you, right? Not saying don't have it, not saying do have it. It's just my opinion that I think is a fact. So when it comes to, okay, yes, she's a Black woman, I automatically, at least it sounds like here, I have my guard down just a little bit because she sees me, I see her. But when it comes to this business, when it comes to Kathryn paying these bills, to make paying these bills, and y'all being healthy, whole women in this business, what were those mantras or the checklists in that working with each other or other Black women?
That was deep.
We get a little deep on these calls sometimes. So we talk real shit. We not here to sugarcoat it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think like to the point that you said, the trust part. And so I don't think it's like, it's not naive trust. It's not like, it'll be fine, they're not gonna hurt me. It's just that like in business, specifically small business, like you have to go into it with good intentions, like in kind of in a spirit of like cooperation, and like not a naive spirit of cooperation, however, but like you can't just come to the table like, oh, she's trying to screw me over, like we can't, we have to make sure that I get my money up front, because sometimes that creates tension in relationships. That said, what's a like talk softly and carry a big stick, like write the contract, sis, like pay the deposit, like, and be prepared to file those papers, if you don't get like if things kind of go sideways. So
with that contract, and I'm all for uplifting other people's business. So for those that have been with, if y'all know I love a good plug. Is there an attorney that you want to shout out that helped you with your contracts?
Ooh, yes. Ooh, I have lots of attorneys, and we actually. Oh, I can't even talk about it yet.
Okay,
go to me.
And y'all, we're gonna get back to some of these contract questions. So I'm like, all right, because it's a thing. So we're gonna follow back up with this question once we can have that conversation, because I have a lot of tea I want to spill, respectful tea, and tea that we can activate on. So we're gonna get back to the contracts conversation.
So, well, I will say that locally, so I have a client services contract that, like, as a consultant that I have with my clients, and that was done by the Stu law firm. Nwando did that, and I can give anybody the link if the link with me. But yeah, she's local. She's based out here in Cobb, and she did my client services contract. So it's 2 attorneys. They're both Black women. It's amazing. So that'd be my plug locally. But like exciting things are coming. I just got a very exciting connection today. So
I love that. Well, we definitely we love to support our own. So I just want to make sure y'all know the lesson on that part. When you start business, not after hours, not later, have your contracts in order. That could be an indicator of your seriousness of the partnership, of the brand, your intention, and much, much more. Now, Tamay, what about you? What is do you have any mantras or checklists or just thoughts about working when you say, hey, I want to work with a Black woman in particular?
For me, it's I'm gonna let you mess it up. Like, I'm gonna let you mess it up. So I'm game to make lots of money with you. I'm game to make it happen. I'm gonna let you mess it up. So I will absolutely, like, for me, one of the most important things is communication. Like, even if you're gonna be late on something, tell me you're gonna be late and I'll be good. But like, that's the biggest thing, is being communication and being forthright. When I do it, when I'm like, oh, I messed up. Okay. And owning up to it, that gives me so much more faith than, not making any mistakes at all. Because I know that if you make a mistake, that I can trust you to be in communication about it and we can figure it out.
Absolutely. And I think that's a really good point. I think when I was thinking about what I wanted to ask y'all, I was like, there are lots of small things, right? The little things that someone can show you, hey, I'm serious about this business, or hey, I'm serious about you. So I'll share one that I more recently learned. I am a researcher by day, researcher, marketing, whatever, strategist, unicorn at this point. But one of the things I have been doing is I research you. And it doesn't have to be like a little thing, but if it's a lot of nepotism going on around here now. And I'm all for us celebrating ourselves, right? So I'm not knocking it, but I want to see what other people say about you, because you should be talking your own shit. You should be uplifting yourself. But if you're saying, hey, Sequoia, especially right now, I have BMC and some other things that I'm doing. And there's a lot of people that want to work with me, want to work with my brands. And it's like, hey, well, I have this reach, or I have that, and I do this and I do that. I understand you do that in yourself, but do other people know that?
Yes.
Because I need to understand, is this going to be a true partnership? Or am I going to be here? You're going to be here? Or are you going to be here and I'm going to be here? So I think that sometimes we almost overcomplicate some of the little things that you can see if you like somebody, you know, or not.
I'm all about a vibe. I'm like all about a vibe. Like we call it vibe, but it is that inner knowing that this ain't right. This ain't right.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, and I've done it. And that's why I'm all about a vibe, because I've done it where I get a vibe, I get a feeling, don't work with them. And I'm like, no, it'll be fine.
We love to nurture some fuckery sometimes.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. And then I'm like, oh, why did I do that? So really, they're like, our brain is picking up on so much stuff. And so there's stuff we consciously recognize and there's stuff we unconsciously recognize. And so that's where we get that vibe from, where it's an unconscious recognition of the fuckery. And our brain is like, don't do it. Don't do it. Yes. And we're like, I know better. I got this. And it's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. That was a bad idea. So yeah.
Yeah, and being empowered to say no, like to not have to accept all the work, all the jobs, all the clients. Sometimes you just say like, hey, that's not the right job for me, or this is not the right client for me.
Yeah, and we can't be afraid to say no to people that look like us. Back to that inherent natural trust. And I bring this up because yesterday I almost put it in our Black Marketers Slack, our group me, excuse me. We have a Black Marketers Coalition group me. And I almost put it in there. And I was like, let me not read this girl from filth in here. But there was this recruiter that reached out to me yesterday. And she reached out to me on LinkedIn. She reached out to me on email. She's a Black woman. And I thought she was reaching out based on her email to see if I was interested in a role. I wrote her back quickly and was like, hey, you know, I'm only taking contracts right now. I'm interested in this company. It's a large corporation here in Atlanta. They're notoriously hard to get into if you're especially a Black person. And I hadn't had the best experience with them before. But I said, if she's reaching out, might be a contract, might be some coin. And I was offended because I thought, you know, just going here, hey, sis, I want to do a contract, yada, yada. And so she wrote back and was like, oh, you can visit our website to find roles that's more aligned to you. But also, can you help me find talent for this role? Bitch, your whole job is being a recruiter. How am I going to be recruit for you? And I did say bitch, and I try not to say bitch, but it's not saying she's a bitch, but bitch as in woman. Let's be very clear. But I'm just like, you just asked me, you just sat there. And the thing is, she works for this corporation. Honey, you making commission off of this. Right. You want me to use my noggin up here, my connections. I've spent years, 10, 11 years in this industry to help you source talent. It showed me a few things about her. She's never looked me up a day in her life.
Yeah, it may have been an auto message.
She didn't even try to get into, hey, the BMC, y'all look like y'all have a vibe. I would love to understand how we could source from your group. Right. None of that. And so I responded back to her and I said, hey, you know, I basically took her template from her email and I said, hey, thank you so much. There's a plethora of websites that you can browse to find great talent. Best of luck on your search. He responded again and said, well, can you help me find those websites?
Wait a minute. She came back to you?
Tamay, I will send you screenshots after this call. I swear, I can't make this up. And so then she wrote me again and she said, I said, hey, oh no, I wrote her back again, excuse me. And I said, hey, if you would like to speak with me on a consultative basis, you can book time on my calendar. Shout out to Calendly, founded in Atlanta by a Black man.
Yes.
I linked my Calendly that has my consultation fee. She didn't respond and she didn't book. That let me know you are not serious about me. So I just wanted to share that story because I thought it was pure fuckery, and I'm not gonna nurture this shit anymore. And I'm here to talk about uplifting Black women that do it right, but to hell with the ones that do it wrong. And do not, if you are a recruiter on this call, please don't do that ever again. You're going to get ignored, and you might get a little sass from me. And the same with these other women founders. We get so many people wanting free shit out of us that they are paying other people for, but they choose not to pay Black women, respect the way we do work, etc. So pure fuckery, don't do it. And we have to make sure we look into each other, take that veil off of sometimes, and remember, some folks still need Black Lady Business School to figure out how to approach people the right way, you know? So that was something I was passionate about, and I wanted to make sure y'all knew how this bitch had me fucked up. So,
my job for me.
I'm telling you, I just was like, what? So we do have a t-shirt request, and y'all know I do my t-shirt. So
I was about to say, I wrote that down. I was like, listen.
I'm telling you, make that one of the network thing. We'll do something with it, because it's true though. We're not all women, because we, at least me, I can't speak for everybody else. I do believe gender is a spectrum, but I do think that majority of women, or cisgendered women in particular, are naturally nurturers, and that can be great when it's great, but it also can be bad when it's bad. So I just want to make sure we hit on that. So I do love this comment. Directing people to that Calendly is the easiest way to identify people trying to waste your time. So I have a question for y'all that's not on the that wasn't on the pre-questions. Do y'all have any technology that y'all are using that has made your business make sense? Has that any that y'all want to shout out, or that you think people should know?
Calendly for sure. We're based here in Atlanta, so always wanted to support local businesses. And to that point, Calendly is a great way to kind of weed out the people that are just like, hey, I want to pick your brain, and you're just like, okay, cool, find a time.
Okay.
And you can set up different schedules. So like you can give the link to say like, I only want to have one of this kind of meeting per year. So if you can find that time, so to be able to kind of filter those requests, I think Calendly is very good. But Tamay and I are AppSumo people. We are suckers for deals on AppSumo. So we have all types of, I won't say experimental, so I'll say kind of new and emerging platforms that do different types of things for business. So anything that automates business, makes it a lot easier for people to manage, brings people together, provides additional resources, and, bonus if it is kind of a new creation or a startup, that's where we're coming from. But Tamay, do you have anything specific?
No, I mean, the biggest thing, honestly, we use for communication is Slack.
Yeah,
I mean, we Slack ideas. I will literally harebrain, like I was walking past a plant and I thought we should do this. What do you think? So like we're always just like spitballing. Well, what about this? Or we heard this, or we'll come back from learning something and let's look at this. So Slack is absolutely the foundation for our communication.
I love it. I always love to plug tech. I know we're all, marketing is no longer just marketing. Marketing is MarTech. And I think that it's so important, y'all. They said Calendly and Slack. And technically, now that Slack is owned by Salesforce, that's also technically Atlanta. So, I mean, I'm just saying Atlanta influences everything. Shout out to Bim Joyner, who created that brand. But it's the tech. If you are looking for tech to help your business, look up some of these startups. I personally, as a founder as well, I found joy in getting in on those startups. For me, Canva, I started using it in 2014 on one of my first jobs, and I've been able to understand it because I started at the startup level. I've grown with the technology, and I don't think there's any Canva feature that I'm not at least familiar with, because we grew up together. Same with Calendly, same with Slack, and some of the things. So it's low cost when you get into them with a startup, and you can grow with that technology as your business grows. So
exactly.
Yeah,
I love that.
Canva.
Someone said and Bianca said I love Canva. Hell yes, seriously. Canva is actually on the back side of my screen right now. Canva, I write resumes, I do logos, I fix people's stuff that I don't like and I don't feel like for it. Like Canva is amazing. And now shameless plug for my own business. My greeting card line, Happy Resignation Day, we use Canva to do it and print our cards. So definitely y'all small business owners, check it out. And of course, Tamay, your social media goddess, for social. So I think that's dope as well. All right. So great synergy, y'all. I don't know if y'all need some water, but we almost through these questions. All right. So my next question for y'all, and let me make sure we don't have any in the chat. Oh, here's some in the chat. Great.
Okay. I just started using Sunsama. It is life changing. When I say life changing, I mean life changing, like a good drink is, like a good meal is. So basically it for me, it helps me track throughout my day to make sure I keep focused on the things I want to accomplish. So it doesn't
something I need.
Yeah, okay. But it doesn't replace your calendar. It's on top of it so that you are more productive and more focused. And what I really liked, and I actually shared this with Kathryn, is their pricing philosophy. I was like, they were like, hey, look, we won't offer sales because this is why we price it the way we do. We are out to make sure that we always support this product. We won't do this. We won't, like, the way they thought about why they do their pricing the way they do it. I was like, oh, this is somebody who thought about the pricing and how it affects, so you'll never find a lifetime deal with them. You'll never find discounts because this is what they're committed to. So yes, I love it.
We have a personal testimony because I'm like, what the hell is Sunsama? Yeah. See,
Yeah,
this is why we here. It's literally, if you know, you know. We don't know this shit until we talk about it. So everybody, check out Sunsama, Bite Size Michi. Shout out to the plug. If you have any influencer codes or anything, please feel free to drop them so we can click on it and check it out. I love it. I love it here. Okay, so another question we wanted to ask. So I asked this question of y'all, and then we did have someone in the comments ask the same question. What things, even if we don't want y'all to give away your full sauce, because I'm sure there's things that y'all have cooking on the marketing of this wonderful organization, but what are 2 to 3 things folks can learn from Black Lady Biz, and how can one join Black Lady Business School?
So, okay, I'm going. Oh, that's me. That's me. Okay, that's me. So, no, one of the things
that's the marriage part. No, you go first. No, you go first.
I was like, hey, your turn.
One of the things we really pride ourselves about BLBS is that however you Black, we have a space for you. Mm-hmm. So you don't there's no too ratchet to be in business. There's no too bougie to be in business. There's no too anything. Like, if that's how you authentically show up, let's show up as you and make money. It can happen. Like, that is something really important for us in curating and creating that type of space so that people can come with whatever questions they have and not feel like, oh, I should know this, or this is not the right place for me, or I can't do this. So that is absolutely one of the most important things from us, and giving that and creating a space for that authenticity, then you have the opportunity to bring other people up just by existing. Because if other people get to see that, oh, you could be bougie and make $1 million. Oh, you could be ratchet and make $1 million. Cool. Like, if they can see that, then they can see that there's a lot of ways to show up in business, and there's no one white. I mean,
you said it right.
I know.
That was accurate. That was accurate. Yeah. So there's no one way to do it, which is something that we've seen for most of our history. There's only one way to show up. There's only one way you can do it. So that is absolutely one thing. And then another thing is, because we've been in business ourselves for so long, we have connections. So the people that we can, like, yo, you my friend, can you show up? Just show up. And so we can have people show up. So, for example, one of our earlier things, we had a global HR director show up and tell us about negotiating, right? Like, how do you negotiate? What does that look like? From somebody who does global HR for an NPO, or what do they call them? Those big ones, whatever they call those. NGOs. Yes, NGOs. NGOs, right? And so And it's because we have those connections that we can say, hey, we have these group of people, we want them to blah blah blah. And so that is another thing, is just because of our connections of where we went to schools and who we've done business with, we can bring in people and be like, we would love for you to teach about this thing. And then finally, business, like at the end of the, we want you to make money. Money. Like money.
That's the
Like
KPI.
for real.
Are
Like
you making money or not?
money.
Yeah.
So that's really important to us. Like, yeah, absolutely get your mindset right to make money. Like, it's not just to, like, yes, be zen out or however you got to be, but it's also, how do we make sure that you're making the money you need to make and not doing stupid things, right? Not being like, oh, I got some money, let me go sign a lease. Why are you signing a lease?
Right.
Or
filing, like one of my favorite right now, and I was talking to my own attorney about it, who's a woman as well, but one of my attorneys, because you know you got like 500 for different things.
Many.
She was like, I basically filed for a trademark in the wrong time, and she was like, it's not going to be horrible. I mean, once it's filed, it's great. She was like, but if you knew what you knew now, that $2,300 I spent on these 3 trademark filings, I could have put that into my business and then let the business fund the trademark versus my savings or my salary. So that was something, it's really important what you said, is making sure you don't waste money, and you have to talk to people already in it. I'm not saying anything is wrong with people like me. I have an MBA, I've studied business, but there are some things you do not know until you do it. And founding a business is kind of like having a baby. People have been doing it a long time, and there's a lot of manuals, but you do not know what having a baby is until you do it and what that entails. So we have to be careful. Sometimes I think even as women, the nurturers, we have a lot of conversations. We have to be careful when we say, give advice. We have to make sure we quantify it, right? So like, or qualified, excuse me, where we say, hey, this is my opinion. This is what I think. But here's what I did. We have to be careful so that we can make sure other women are doing business in the right order. Now, what about you, Kathryn? Are there any things that you maybe lean into as far as what you teach through the school, or even just do as a networker that Tamay may do something different? Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, leaning into the network is definitely a big part of it. And one of the things for Black Lady Business School that Tamay knows I rant about, and when I say rant, like I'm not just harping, I am ranting.
I'm here
because
for
there's so much noise, especially in marketing, especially in business, especially targeting Black people, of people saying, girl, you need this for your business, you know, and on TikTok, because there's a lot of pointing on TikTok.
Oh my God, yes.
You know, saying, do this, do this, do that, do this, do this, buy my, you know, $700 course that's going to tell you all the things that I already posted on TikTok. And then at the end of the day, you're like,
girl boss, you know.
I know. And then at the end of the day, you're like, okay, cool. So how do I, and can you help me? No, you can't. Okay, cool. So like getting from that, everybody knows all of the things that you need to do, to the somebody can help you do all of the things that you need to do, or actually giving you actionable things to do. Huge pet peeve of mine. And so whenever we create any kind of content, especially, or like whenever I'm creating content and whenever we do something from Black Lady Business School, I'm like, what's the action? Like, what is the takeaway? How can someone do something concrete and tangible for their business, you know, after attending this? Like, how is this going to help them in a very measurable way? So like going from the theory and the education and the, you know, information to the action, to the delivering of results is a very important part of that for me. And then again, for Black Lady Business School, we are based in Atlanta. Like a lot of what we do is virtual and online, and anybody's welcome to join. However, we are based in Atlanta. So the strength of what we're trying to build is in local communities, local networks, local resources. So that's part of the surprise that we are getting ready to announce. Or I guess it's in the works. So we'll be trickling out those announcements as they become available. But yeah, like the strength of the local networks to support businesses in the ecosystem. Yeah.
I just love that. I love the actionable part. And I think especially for those that are in Atlanta or visit, because even like the thing is too, with as we grow, you're gonna have to travel. Now, some people may not, but that may mean you're stifled, right? Atlanta I'm from Georgia, went to went down to Florida for a while. Families from Florida went to school there, but I came back to Atlanta, and there's something magical about the Black women doing dope shit here. The Pinky Coles, the Key Harmon, the even the news journalists that we have are world class. And all the Black women here are doing dope things. The Bea Dixons. I always forget, and I hate that I forget her name, but the owner of Just Add Honey, she's a phenomenal speaker and owner. It's Kathryn, that's what we'll do. When we meet up, we're gonna go get some tea at Just Add Honey, and then we'll go across the street to one of them bars and get some tequila after. Sound good?
Tea and tequila.
Yes,
I'm
there.
Tequila. Yes.
I'm there.
But seriously, there's something magical happening here. So congratulations on starting some dope shit, but not just starting it, sparking a revolution in how we treat each other and how we do business together. So I do have some ending questions because I know we have 10 minutes, y'all. Black Lady Business School, please join. It's blackladybusinessschool.com. Don't say you don't know. It's so easy. Just try. /membership. Because I know we have a couple people here. Right now we've seen a lot of YouTube, but we have people on LinkedIn here watching you all as well. So I have if you keep seeing me on my screens, it's because I'm getting all this wonderful commentary from allies and other people that look like us about how powerful this brand is and what you all are doing. So some of my two last things I wanted to ask y'all was a quick one, which is, what does Women's History Month mean for you? It mean to you? And I asked this of Black women particularly because our plight through feminism and feminist history is different. I'm reading this book right here. This author, Tamiko Brown-Wright, Brown Naggin, she was speaking on CNN the other day about our new Supreme Court justice that we have that has hair like us, that looks like us. And
we don't have her yet.
Let me hold my breath because we know what's going on right now.
Oh, but, yeah, exactly.
We are anticipating.
I mean, we should, however,
like let me be careful
that they are.
We're gonna hope that she is confirmed by these people. But the lady who's in, so Tamiko, the author, she wrote this book and she was commenting on CNN about how Black women through history was left out of not only a lot of civil rights history, but also women history. And so I'm reading this book, Civil Rights Queen. So far, it's really, really, really good. And it talks about this little known history fact of Constance Baker Motley, who was one of the founding woman, Black woman of the civil rights movement. And she was behind a lot of the people we studied in school, but nobody talked about her. Yeah. So I asked in that light, what does it mean to you as Black women? And then are there any others outside of the ones we talked about at the top of the call in marketing that you guys would be like, hey, in the history books, her name should be here?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Well, so I will speak first about the Women's History Month and feminism. So I went to Agnes Scott, I'm a women's studies major. So this is an issue really close to my heart. So the intersectionality, so not just being women, of being Black and being woman. So like you fit into a category of Black and you fit into a category of women, but like the experience of being Black women is often overlooked in the experience of being Black and the experience of being women. And so for Women's History Month, like as you notice, if you go, when you see things posted online, people are celebrating women's history. And it's just like, women have come so far and they've got the equality. And when they do stats, they're like, the average woman-owned business does this. And you're like, but Black women, and the average Black business does this. And it's like, but Black women, so I feel like the history of Black women and a lot of the movement for equality, for both Black equality and female equality or women's equality, has been overlooked. Black women, like Black women have been invisible from that. So for Women's History Month, it's just like, hey, let's talk about being Black women in business. Let's talk about being Black women in corporate America, in politics, in law. Let's talk about what that experience is and how some of the things in like the general discourse are overlooking our experience and how we're still being excluded and left out. But I'll have to think about the name. Like,
I tell people, continue the conversation on LinkedIn, because that's what we do. Like, we can bring it to GroupMe, we can bring it to LinkedIn, but it's crazy. And I wanted to ask that question because we do have to think, right? And it's not because we don't know these people, but there are just some names that get beat down in the ground, and those ladies are great. I am never taken away from those ladies. But behind those women are 1,000 other Black women that got them there. And I want to keep those conversations going where we say, you might not know that person, but like I'm a fan of Melissa Proctor from the Hawks. Like she's popular, but still I just want to blow her name up like Beyonce, right? And it's just like, man, that's a Black woman really not just making history in marketing, but in the NBA as a woman and a Black woman, a woman with locks. And it's just like, I just am a fan of her. She probably knows this. I probably feel like a freaking stalker at this point. But that's one of those people that I'm like, anytime I can plug her, anytime I can plug the Tamays and the Kathryns and the folks on this call, we do it. Same question for you, Tamay. What does it mean to you? Are there any folks that you think people need to know?
For me, what it means is, yeah, I automatically add Black in my mind. It's just not that all women don't need to be, uplifted and all of that. I'm not saying that, but I just know that it's, we talk about intersectionality. We have February Black History Month, and then we come into March, and it's Women's History Month, and it's that intersectionality of both. Like, I'm just very present, to the Blackness and the womananity of it all, because it is different. And so yeah. And the person I had to look her up. I love her. Madison Butler. She's actually not in marketing. She's HR. But she's a queer Black HR global person. The reason why I love her is she doesn't, what did we say? What's our t-shirt phrase?
Nurture fuckery.
Yeah, she doesn't nurture fuckery. She doesn't nurture fuckery. She actively calls out people. She is actively leaning into the space of herself, even though I am sure people are always commenting, that's not professional. And so she is, I just love looking at not only her feed, but just really looking at how she goes about being unapologetically herself in a field that is not meant to have people be themselves.
Right. It's meant for these businesses to be themselves, and y'all just figure out where the hell you want to be in it.
Yes, that part.
Oh God, I can talk about that forever. Oh my goodness, triggered. So last question for y'all. Simple. And y'all in the chat, drop the questions. I think I'm looking on LinkedIn correctly. I have to get with our technology director to make sure I'm doing this right. I'm like, I think I'm looking at it. But my last question is simple. What are some ways that folks can support Black Lady Business School and other women-founded businesses? And I mean, any list that you guys have, any ask, any donations, any people that y'all need. Shameless plug. We got 3 minutes. Shameless plug what y'all need and what other women-founded businesses need.
Oh, so I'm going again. Okay, cool. So, all right, cool. Got it. Cool. I missed the cues. All right. So.
I didn't have a shameless. Well, I mean, I'll do a shameless plug for the membership. So
yes.
Our membership has not officially launched yet, but we do have basically a founding members program. And that founding members program helps us to create these partnerships that provide value for the membership. So it's essentially being a beta tester or a beta member. And so you'll still have access to everything that the members have access to, with the addition of some behind the scenes things. So be the first to fill out your profiles. Hopefully we can schedule some kind of open house or special member only events as we bring on these partners that are based here in Atlanta, but we could definitely use some founding and supporting members, and that link is on our page. So that's the shameless plug for Black Lady Business School. And also just follow us on Instagram, follow us on LinkedIn, and promote us when we have events, and share us with your Black Lady friends and tell them about us and tell us about them, because we're literally just trying to collect everybody together and say, hey, how can we together build a network that can help elevate all of us?
I just love that, sharing and communicating. We gotta share, we gotta communicate. And this is the thing, y'all. Didn't they say what they look for in partners? They said sharing and communicating. that partnership isn't just at the founder level. That partnership is through the membership level and so on and so on. So the very things y'all needed to come together is the same thing you need in some great people that's following y'all. Tamay, what about you? What you thinking over there?
I would just say really like every now and then you'll see something online and you'll have a thought like, oh, I'm so happy she shared that. That was amazing. Share the thought with the person. Share that thought with the person, because there's so many times, especially as founders, where you like, I hope I'm doing it right. I don't know what's happening. I'm so confused. And so somebody slid into my DMs, be like, oh my goodness, that's amazing. I'd be like, oh, okay, thank you. Oh my God, somebody's looking. So just those thoughts, when you have those thoughts like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy they shared that, or that's amazing, or I'm so proud. Whatever that thought is, share that thought.
I love that. I love it. So y'all, we are at time. Y'all have been amazing. I feel so full. I am so happy to celebrate Women's History Month with y'all. Again, this is the Black Lady Business School, co-founded by Kathryn Smith, as well as Tamay Shannon. We thank our sponsor, the Level 8 agency. We just can't do it without you. And we hope y'all, I've been looking at the comments. I'm like, let me make sure nobody said nothing, but we hope y'all seriously had a blast. We are the Black Marketers Coalition. Join us on social media. And y'all, until next time, I don't want to say bye, but I know we have to go. Y'all follow Black Lady Business School. Instagram is Black Lady Biz. And y'all, we gonna see y'all next month, April. Think we're talking about mental health again, like we did last year. It seemed like it worked for everyone. So stay tuned to that. And we will be here, same place, same time, first Thursday of April. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Congratulations. And our quote of the day is, we're not nurturing no more fuckery as Black women. And
tell us when the shirts are on sale. So.
I will let you know. I'm going to mock those up on Canva right now. Thank y'all so much. Y'all on LinkedIn, y'all on YouTube. Thanks for joining. And until next time, see y'all later.